And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Welcome to the stream, everybody. This is day 4 or day 5 of the CS2 market crash. My name is Fano, and in today's episode, this live stream recording, video, live, whatever you want to call it, we're doing a best cases to buy right now. So we're going to go and analyze the market, find the best cases that are good deals to buy right now. So, hopefully you guys are excited as I am because there are a lot of opportunities in the market right now. Those of you that are following me over on my X account, I posted an amazing post here that a lot of people are talking about right now. It's going viral. Read this post if you think the market crash is not over. For those of you that think that the market crash is going to continue into next week, for those of you that are interested in hearing what the community has to say, I'm going to post the link to this X post in the chat here for you guys to take a look at. So definitely open up another tab and join the discussion there. Give that post some love, and I would love to hear from you guys. Do you think the market crash is going to continue or not? Definitely read that and yeah, respond at your leisure. With that being said, though, guys, what we need to understand about market crashes is that whenever there is uncertainty, there will be volatility. And I do expect that there will be elevated volatility in the next week or so. I admit that. Like, I don't think we're going to necessarily crater to zero for a lot of our skins and case investments, but I do think there's going to be potential pockets in the economy for us to make money and profit from. So the reason I'm making this video is not necessarily right now everyone go buy these cases, right now everyone go and buy. What you need to do as an investor is to compile a list of your target investments. So what this video will help you do is to compile a list of cases that look attractive going forward, right? And then you as the investor decide when to buy them and at what price to buy them at. Does that make sense, guys? I'm not here to just pump cases and to just tell you, buy this case right now. I'm here to analyze the current situation, the current status of cases, where they stand in the market, and how we can make money from them. So with that being said, keep in mind, guys, that the update dropped on, I believe, a Wednesday or a Thursday night, I think it was, and Thursday night, I believe, and it still hasn't been a week yet, and we're still not at the point where we've had a weekly reset. So for those of you that don't know, every week there's a weekly reset for the skin/case drops. That usually happens on a Tuesday evening here in the United States, in the USA. It usually happens sometime in the afternoon. So if you're in Europe or Asia, it's probably already Wednesday for you guys. But in the United States, it is Tuesday. So definitely keep that in mind. And why am I bringing this up? Because cases usually get reset at that week. And, when that happens, players will be able to play the game and get a new case as their drop. New cases added to the game means the supply goes up. A lot of people like to lock in gains or, the free money that they got from their case, and they quick sell their investments. When they quick sell their investments, prices tend to drop and go down. So I bring all of this up to say that just because I'm making a list of cases to buy right now doesn't necessarily mean right now. It means that you could potentially set some buy orders right now and then wait for a dip sometime in the near future. Whether that happens in a few days when the weekly reset system happens, or whether it's later this week, maybe on a Thursday or Friday when items become tradable and everyone starts panicking again. That is up to you to decide. Whichever narrative you believe in, you need to make that decision and decide when you want to buy cases. That's why I linked my X post here for those of you guys that want to read it and get into my brain and see what I'm thinking. But if you disagree, I recommend you guys respond and read the comments here, read the replies with what people are talking about this market crash to get a better perspective. So once again, guys, the post for the X post, it will be posted here. We'll do some Q&A at the end of the live stream if we have time, but for now, let's get started with the content. So here we go, guys. Get ready. Get your notebooks and pencils out. Alright, so how am I picking the best cases to invest in? Let's see here. So, I think there are definitely several strategies that you can employ that you can use to make money. The first strategy that I'm doing when I'm picking my case investments, at least right now going forward, is I think a good strategy would be to look at the cases, or sorry, the skins from the cases that appear on the popular items page of the Steam market. So look at the skins. Let me rephrase that. Let me say, look at the skins that appear. Look at the skins that appear on the popular items of the page market consistently, and then figure out which cases they belong in, and buy those cases, or put them on your list. So we're gonna kind of work backwards in a sense. We're going like backwards instead of forwards when we're trying to build this list. So I'm looking at the Steam market right now when we have popular items, and these popular items are sorted based on items currently in the last hour or so, and they get updated every hour with like items that are currently trending. There's a lot of volume. People are buying and selling, and there's price cash moving between accounts. So as you can see here, number one right now is the recoil case. It has seen a substantial increase and pop in price, even though the case is still dropping. And I've made videos on the recoil case on my YouTube channel. I've made X posts talking about the recoil case, how good of a case it is over the years, or over the last couple months, I should say. And yeah, it's been getting a pop. So the chromatic aberration is getting a pop right now. And because of that, I'm going to put the recoil case on my radar. That doesn't mean you have to buy it today. That just means that it's probably a good idea to put it on your radar. So I'm going to compile a list. This is the list of cases that I am considering investing in. And then we will, at the end, well, actually, no, let me say here. Let's do the official list. The official list will be at the end once we've analyzed all the cases, and then we'll compile like the top cases to buy. Right now, let me just make a list of, potential cases. So we can call this like a potential list of buys, I guess. So this will be our potential list. So for now, the recoil case is, well, where is it? You got to see where it's trading at. Let's search for recoil case. The recoil case is currently... Let me see here. How much is it going for? We're going to use the Steam market prices just to be consistent. So we're just going to say 53 cents for the recoil case. Okay. So that's the recoil case. Let's look at the next popular item that is currently like making new highs in these coverts. It is the Legion of Anubis, found in the fracture case. So we're going to put fracture case on our list. And if we look and search for fracture cases, we'll see that the fracture case is currently trading at around 72 cents. So we're going to put 72 cents. Right now, we're just compiling a list of potential buys. We will analyze them individually at the end, and we will go from there. Then we'll debate whether or not X case is better than the other case, right? So let's just keep going here. This is what I would be doing. Sorry, you've made too many requests. Great. All right. Okay, Steam. Thank you. Nightwish. Let's see here. Nightwish is found, I believe, in Dreams and Nightmares case. So if we look there, Dreams and Nightmares case, we search for it, view the container, we can see that the Dreams and Nightmares case is $2.16 currently. So Dreams and Nightmares case currently going for $2 and what did I say, 8 cents or 12 cents? 16 cents. Okay. And 16 cents. Okay, so I'm actually not surprised that these three cases are, at the moment, top of the Steam market, but let's keep going. Starlight Protector, that's another case from the Dreams and Nightmares case, so I'm not surprised about that. We've been making way too many requests. Okay, so make sure you're signed into Steam. Sometimes this error, too many requests, usually happens when you are doing... too many requests on the Steam market without being logged in. But anyways, let's keep going. Let's go. Okay, so Fracture case, Dreams and Nightmares case is also trending right now. let's look at so Gallery Case and Fever Case. These are two very interesting cases that are currently on the popular items. So just because the skins in these cases are not on the trending items doesn't mean we can't put the cases themselves in our shortlist. So we're going to put Gallery Case, and the Gallery Case is currently $1.55. And then we're going to look at Fever Case, which is now around $1. And keep in mind, I'm going to put an asterisk here. You know, I'm going to put that you can get it for 80 cents if you play your missions, if you play your Armory Pass and get your stars, right? Like you buy the Armory Pass, you play it and gain XP, you get stars, you buy these cases for 80 cents. So you don't even have to pay the Steam market price for them. You can just pick them up by playing the game. So that's my current short list of cases, but there's other cases that we can invest in. I really wish this Steam market glitch would go away so that we can continue analyzing. I guess we can quickly... Well, actually, no. I want to keep the content flowing. So, anyways, let's keep going. Let's see. How can I search for cases? I guess we can do all weapons cases. So, I don't know how this is sorted on this website, at least. Dreams Nightmares case, Fever case, Fracture case. I guess we can talk about breakout cases. Maybe it is sorted in popularity. Is this sorted based on popularity? How are they sorting this? Because breakout case should be top of the list. Glove cases have been doing great. Recoil cases. So I'm going to put, so we're going to put breakout case on our list. And the current breakout case, if we search for it here on the Steam market, it's currently trading at $11.47. And it's a very volatile case because the last couple of days, a lot of people have been crafting, trying to get butterfly knives for cheap, and a lot of the skins in the breakout case have been going up and up and up, being consumed in these trade-ups. A lot of P90 Asimovs, I believe, have been just burned, and so breakout cases, they dipped to like, I forget, $6, $7, $8 on the Steam market, then they went up to 14, and now they're at about 11. They're pretty volatile, so if you do decide to invest in breakout cases, make sure you buy them on a dip. Wait and see if there's a dip later in the week. Wait and see if there's a dip in a couple of days towards the end of next week, the upcoming week that's coming. There could be a dip potential, so maybe set buy orders on these more expensive cases. That would be my recommendation for that. I'm not going to analyze them too much here because I do want to keep going on this short list of cases. And like I said, I'll do Q&A with you guys at the end, but we also can't forget about the glove case. If you talk about breakout case, you got to go with its sister case, the glove case. Why do I say sister case? Because these two cases tend to trade very similarly, or at least in the past, they have been pretty much neck and neck when it comes to price appreciation. And as you can see, their prices are very similar. For different reasons. Glove case, obviously for gloves, the first generation of gloves. Breakout, the first generation of butterfly knives. People love high-tier old gloves from glove case. People love the high-tier fades and vanilla butterfly knives and gems, and like the blue gems, I should say, from breakout. So $12.67, I believe. So yeah, $12.67 for the glove case. So all good cases to consider as potential buys when it comes to cases right now. Let's keep going. We already talked about gallery case. We can take a look at the Revolution case. Revolution case is interesting. It had an initial dip, it went up, then it dipped more. We're making lower highs here, which isn't amazing. So maybe on the next dip, whether it goes like to 30 cents again or even lower, I would be buying this case. I do think that it is one of those cases where like eventually people are going to see the demand for it. They're gonna start, crafting, because like these things have clutch cases. These things are the same as the clutch case, right? They have the clutch case vice gloves. So people are going to be spamming these coverts, which is crazy because this case actually has very good coverts, by the way. It has a very nice M4, a very nice AK. So it's very interesting to see how these get burned. Which one of them gets burned more? What do you guys think? Which one, like, if you're going to be doing, like, trade-ups with the Revolution case, do you think more people or most people are going to burn headshots or Temu cows? What does chat say? Let's see what chat says. What are we thinking here, chat? AK or M4? Which one are we burning for these trade ups to, you know, go for vice gloves, I guess? You're gonna be burning the AK for sure. The AK, Temukau's AK headshot. Okay, okay, interesting, interesting. Because these are good-looking coverts. So I mean, yes, they're still dropping. The case is still a pretty active case, but it's one of those things where like if you buy the dip, especially on this Temukau, if I looked at it, they dipped hard. If you buy the dip, it might be. I mean, it definitely rewarded you the past day or so. So definitely take that into consideration. Like these revolution cases, they may not be next in line to be removed, but I would certainly buy on weakness. Buy on weakness these revolution cases. How much are they going for? They're going for 44. If we look at Steam, 59. Okay, so yeah, 59. Okay, so that's the revolution case. Let's see what other cases are there. Revolution case, kilowatt case. The problem with these cases right now is that they're still dropping. They're still pretty active. It's a relatively new case, kilowatt, so I don't know if it's worth necessarily buying too many of them right now. As an investor, like, I know the price is you know, cheap and attractive, but I don't know if it's worth it. Does that make sense, chat? Like, usually when I invest in cases, I usually invest in cases that are, at least up until now, the strategy was like rare cases that are, you know, have a low supply, or not just a low supply, but a low drop chance, right? Chance to drop, and then also cases that are about to be removed. Revolution case is somewhere in the middle. Kilowatt case is relatively newer than Revolution, so I don't know if it's even worth mentioning at the moment, unless you want to do like some quick like swing trade week by week and buy the dips there. I think something more interesting would be to take a look at like some of these older cases that contain China, are you ready? That's crazy. That's crazy. Spectrum? Wait. September 14th, 2017? Is that the China update where they made CSGO like into like they broke into the China market with Spectrums? Doppler karambits? Oh my god. See, and that's why a lot of our Dopplers like dropped in value, and like everyone like was selling their Dopplers and M9s and rubies, and they were quick selling it, and you could see some crazy price drops. A lot of this happened because, well, China was first introduced to CS:GO at the time with the Spectrum case that had those knives, and they're exiting. A lot of people were exiting and like liquidating their entire portfolios and getting out of the market. So it makes sense. So I like Spectrum cases. I really do. I really like the Spectrum case. Although, wait, Spectrum case is not Karambit Dopplers. My bad. Spectrum is butterflies. So Spectrum are actually butterfly Dopplers and rubies and sapphires. So there's that to consider. But I do like the Spectrum case. Gotta look at the price, though. I mean, month down 18%. Whenever you guys see, like, red in the last month, like, that is where you buy. You buy these dips. You don't buy up here on the charts where everything is fine and dandy and going higher. You buy when there's pain and red, and that's generally what you do for most items and most skins, especially you can do the same with cases. So I like the Spectrum case here. Again, I'm not telling you to buy right now. Right now, we're just building a list. But I think if you monitor this case, may not be worth... It might be worth it in the long run. So Spectrum cases, and again, this goes for Spectrum 1 and Spectrum 2. Doesn't really matter. Chromas. Chromas are the cases that contain Karambit Dopplers. So they're also pretty in demand, I would say. So Chroma case. Go for them as well. We'll look at the prices in a second. Let's see. Yeah, Chroma case, Chroma 3 case. Like, look at this. Down 19, 20% in a month, 23 in the last 7 days. Generally speaking, the lower this goes, the more bullish I'll get. And, yeah, I mean, these cases just have really, really good knives. So let's do Chroma case, the original Chroma case. I really wish I could do, like, a side-by-side, see which ones. Honestly, I'd probably go with the cheapest one. Like, go with the case that's the cheapest. Don't necessarily like if you had to choose between Chroma 1, Chroma 2, Chroma 3, just go with the cheap one, the one that you can buy the most out of. Now again, this is just one strategy, chat. This is strategy number 1 on finding ways to, you know, like which cases to invest in. Different strategies for finding good cases to buy. Does that make sense? This is just one strategy. I think a second strategy, and one that we actually haven't been doing up until this point. So this was the first strategy. I'm not going to go through all of them right now, but what I will say is this was strategy 1, and now strategy 2 is going to get a little bit more interesting. So hit the like button, guys, if you're ready for strategy 2. Let me pull up the website in a second. Give me 1 minute here. Hit the like button if you guys are finding value from this live stream, please. Helps the channel grow. It's completely free. Let's see here. I believe this is the site. Let me pull it up here. It's our favorite site. It's the CSGO case tracker site. And the reason I bring it up is because I want to see the daily swing, the daily change in cases being opened. Now, interesting, I like how they added an extra, like, warning here. They added estimated opening numbers might be heavily inaccurate due to an increased use of trade-ups in response to the recent trade-up update. So they're telling us that these numbers may not be 100% accurate of actual unboxings, but it's okay because we as case investors now are pivoting, not only buying the cases because of people unboxing and opening them, but because people want to actually own the skins in these cases, the skins in these collections that can be used to craft knives in the future. So that's like a double whammy, and it like makes sense. Like, we have 2 reasons for it. So just because these numbers may be inflated, like, I don't care. Like, I want to see what people are opening, what people are buying for trade-ups. So let's see here. Let's look at these cases, and let's see if we can find something here that makes sense. Like, you know, we can take something from this. So as you can see here, a lot of Operation Phoenix cases stick out to me. I didn't expect that many Phoenix cases. So I don't know why the Phoenix case seems to be pretty popular, but I mean, that's what the data suggests. So let's see here. Oh, right. AUG chameleons. Okay, interesting. So that's probably it. A lot of people were spamming the very cheap AUG chameleon skin that was used to get, you know, karambit fades, blue gems, 387 karambits. So that actually checks out. A lot of these chameleons were burned. Let's see here. So that's the container. How much is the container going for? If we look at Steam, we can see that, oh my gosh. All right, look at this. So it had an initial crash to $3. That's insane. Lost almost 50%. Then it has been slowly battling this bounce. I mean, if it starts to dip lower again to this $3-4 mark, it would be a really good buy. But yeah, I like the Phoenix case long term. I still think that, yeah, we can add this to the list here. Phoenix case, and currently going for $510. Let's see here. So we're just going to continue going down the list here. Next is Operation Breakout case. We've already covered it, or at least put it on our list. So that's very cool. Chroma case, as you can see here, guys. Chroma Falchion case. Falchion case, interesting. Why did the Falchion case get a bump? Let's see. We also have, interestingly enough, Chroma 3 case and Chroma 2 case seem to be more popular than the Chroma case. So the individual Chroma case had very few trade-ups, very few unboxes compared to Chroma 2s and Chroma 3s. Why do we think that is, chat? Can anybody come up with an idea as to why that is the case? What's in the Chroma case? I just want to see here. To me, it doesn't make sense, because we have Chatterbox and we have Manowar. These are pretty unremarkable coverts that I thought would be kind of cheap and could be used in trade-ups so pretty frequently. So I don't know why that's the case. That's really weird. Does anybody understand this? Because Personally, I don't see it. But in any event, I think instead of chroma case, we should do chroma 2s and potentially 3s. I guess the price, that's something to consider. How much is a chroma? How much is the price? Price is 554 compared to, no, they're all 554 around, give or take. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure why there's this discrepancy between these, like Hyper Beasts and Neon Riders being used in trade ups and unboxings, because they have the same knives. Oh, these are cheaper. Interesting. These are cheaper. Chroma 2 is like $1 cheaper. Interesting. Yeah, go for the cheaper cases. There's no point in going after the more expensive chroma case, especially if people aren't opening it. And very cool. Neon Rider was a very cheap skin, and that's why it got pumped up in the coverts. Okay, cool. So I guess my next question is, does that mean that chroma case, the fact that not a lot of people are opening it and not a lot of them were used in trade-ups, does that mean that eventually the price or the narrative or whatever you want to call it is going to shift towards the chroma case? Does that make sense, chat? Like, everybody's pumping up the prices of these, and then you go after the cases that haven't had those same level of appreciation? I guess what I'm trying to say is you have to find pockets in the market where, like, there's an underserved item or an item that not everyone is discovered or using or crafting or trading and or unboxing. So you got to really do your own research here and spend a little time looking at that. But Falchion case, yeah, a lot of them were open, more than I thought. So W Falchion, that might be a case to also take a look at. And by the way, chat, Falchion cases were pretty cheap. I talked about Falchion cases a couple days ago, or a couple weeks ago, I should say. Let's see how much they are right now. They are $1.93. Interesting. So they were $2.40. They crashed down to $1.20, and now if you bought the dip, now it's $2. So that's very, very cool. How the price swung there. So I still like Falchion cases. I do think that they are pretty cheap. They only contain one knife, and that's the rare Falchion knife. So Falchion cases are pretty cool as well. Definitely consider Falchion cases, especially if they dip lower, below $1.90, $1.50. The lower they go, the better. Let's see here. Okay, so what else? I guess instead of going one at a time through all of these, let's go after a couple of the more notable ones. So as you can see, Fracture is pretty notable. Snakebite is pretty notable. I still like the Snakebite case. I can't believe I haven't mentioned it yet. Snakebite case, I like the supply of it. I like the way it was trending before the update. So Snakebite case is probably a case that I know personally a couple of investors who bought the dip. Shout out if you bought the Snakebite case. 73 cents on the Steam market. Let's see here. These things crashed hard. Went to 52. From 87, they went to 51, 52. Then they went back up to 75. This was a good rebound, I would say. So I like Snakebite here. Maybe, you know, you can set some buy orders for the low 60s and 50s. See if they hit over the next couple of days. That would be a good entry point. I don't want to... I guess one thing I want to point out, guys, maybe I didn't write this down, didn't make it, like, clear, is I don't want you guys to... Don't chase cases higher. And it's not just cases. It can be items, too. It could be skins, it could be knives, it could be whatever investment asset you want to buy. You don't want to chase them higher. So you want to be buying, when prices are falling for your items that you believe in, right? Like, the people that bought, like, the reason this thing bounced is because people had an eye on the Snakebite case. They saw that people were quick selling their Snakebite cases, and because the Snakebite was on their list and they believed in it, they stepped in and bought the dip. And when you buy the dip and you have a lot of people buying the dip, prices will go higher. More demand, more people buying than selling. Eventually, sellers run out, buyers step in, and prices go up. So you want to be buying the trends, not the uptrends, if that makes sense. So I bring all of this up to say I can't predict next couple of days what's going to happen to this chart. Maybe it goes higher, maybe it goes lower. But what I will say is, if it does go lower, and if it starts trending lower for whatever reason, you as the investor, if you believe in the snakebite case, you as the investor need to take action and actually buy and step in and you know, take the plunge, as they say. So let's see here. Okay. I guess the number 2 strategy that I did not mention is use the CSGO case tracker website to see the daily openings and trade up contract volume, right? This is what we've just been doing. And use this website to your advantage and track manually, I guess, or automatically if you can code it, but manually track the change between days, like the change between days, and see which cases have the most demand and consider investing in those cases. Holy smokes, I can't type. In those cases on any weakness. Does that make sense? On any weakness. So if there's weakness in the market for whatever reason over the next couple of days on your case list, that is what you end up doing and buying and stepping in to buy the dip. So for example, if snakebite goes back down to the 50s and 60s, consider nibbling and buying a couple. You know, if gallery case, full disclosure, I'm a big gallery case investor. If it dips around $1, I am buying. I mean, like, yeah, like Dreams and Nightmares case dips under $2, significantly down for whatever reason, maybe in a couple days. A lot of them get dropped. People start panic selling, quick selling, goes to $1.50, $1.40, $1.20. The lower it goes, I'd probably be buying. And again, these are just potential lists of buys. You can choose which ones you want to step in and purchase. So these are all decent cases, and there's other cases too, like we haven't mentioned yet, but these are just some interesting ones. I still like the operation discontinued cases, these orange cases here. I think they're better for long-term investors that want to just set it and forget it, buy something that has good fundamentals, sort of like people that, you know, invest in Bitcoin and just like buy, you know, something like Bitcoin where like the supply can't ever increase, right? Like more than the 21 million. So it's similar in that regards, where it's like, in fact, it's deflationary, these cases. The supply of these cases only goes down. So buying on any weakness is probably smart for, you know, for a long-term investor. But there's other cases as well, like Prisma cases for the Talon Dopplers. Those are pretty good. Clutch cases seem to have been pretty interesting, but actually I'm not surprised about clutch cases. You know why, chat? Clutch cases had a large supply, and a lot of people opened them over the years. And because a lot of people opened them over the years, you know what happened? There's a lot of coverts, a lot of cheap, ugly-looking coverts that were consumed this past week. They were consumed to get obviously knives, right? Or sorry, gloves. So I'm not surprised that that's the case. Yeah, that you know, that is what it is. But what I do want to point out is you need to, like I said, get more data. And the way you get more data is it's going to take time. It's going to take some effort, you know, looking at the at this website every couple of days from now, next couple of weeks, and seeing where the trend is going, what people are doing, try to make sense of the market. Obviously, also going and looking at the charts to see what people are doing. And your goal is to compile a list, your list of cases that you are potentially going to put money to work and invest in. So, with that being said, there's obviously more cases that, you know, I haven't analyzed yet, and maybe I'll save them for the Q&A if any of you guys want to bring them up. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys the list of cases that are probably the most enticing going forward, at least in my eyes, right? So for me personally, this update hasn't really shifted too much of my investing philosophy when it comes to cases. I still really, really like gallery cases for the long term. I'm selling them for, like, you know, several dollars in 2030, I would say. So don't sell before 2030. And again, this is not financial advice. This is just what I'm doing I plan to, I guess I plan to sell after 2030. So why 2030? It's, it's a 5-year cycle. Prices will most likely be higher than they are today, at least from past performances and historical trends. So I anticipate them to rise enough for me to be satisfied with selling the thousands of cases that I already have. So again, full disclosure, I'm invested in gallery cases. I like them. They're discontinued. They have good fundamentals. You don't have to invest in them. This is just my list of cases that I like. So because I like the gallery cases, I will be buying on any weakness. For example, like I said, if the price, for whatever reason, drops to $1 or less, I will step in and buy. That is my strategy, and that is what I will continue to do. Now we're going to move on to the next case. So I really like gallery cases, but there's also other cases that you guys can take a look at as well. One of those cases is the breakout case. I really think that breakout cases are, no pun intended, due for a breakout. But I want to make it clear that these cases are already very expensive, so you're limiting your upside potential because they're already $10. $10 for it to double would have to reach $20. It's possible, but it's, a lot harder than a case that's already $1, like the gallery case, to reach $5. That's a 5x. Meanwhile, breakout case, $10 to reach $50. Again, 20, 30, 40, like however long this game lasts, maybe it reaches those high levels, but it's just less likely, or only under $10. And it's probably, it's probably more of a short-term trade on weakness. So if there's any weakness in this case, if it dips back down to $7 or $8, you buy those dips because, as you can see, buyers step in eventually. People that want to open butterflies or craft butterflies, they step in and they pump the price higher. It's going to be very interesting to see next couple of weeks how the community adjusts to these trade-up contracts, right? We only have 4 days worth of data for them, so it's still early days, guys, for this new update. Right now, we're just trying to like settle everything, right? Everything needs to be settled soon, so hopefully that makes sense. I like the breakout case under $10, but like I said, I'm not rushing to buy. I like fever cases too, guys. I think fever cases are interesting. A lot of people are not really talking about them that much, but I like the fever case because you can get them for 80 cents under market value, under market price. You get them for the retail price that Valve sells it to us for 80 cents. But you're going to have to do some work. You're going to have to play the game. Some people don't have the time to play. That's fine. I understand. But if you invest your time and effort and energy, you'll get a cheaper rate, a cheaper price. 80 cents is better than $1. Getting it at a cheaper rate is preferred. Why? Because in a couple of years, you'll be able to sell it at a higher, greater total return. Hopefully that makes sense. So I like fever cases here. I like the 80 cents. I like, if they continue to go lower, even below 80 cents, if you manage to buy them off of third-party websites, even better. So I like fever cases, I like breakout cases, I like gallery cases. I think those are pretty good cases to take a look at. And again, this is not a comprehensive list, but this is just my, what I'm eyeing if I'm investing in cases. Which ones would I personally be targeting for profit? I like the Dreams and Nightmares case a lot. I also like the Recoil case. So I think Recoil and Dreams and Nightmares are both interesting. I really do, guys. Dreams and Nightmares case and the Recoil case. And the reason I bring them up together, and I'm actually going to package them together, I'm going to do just Dreams and Nightmares plus Recoil case. I'm going to say you should probably buy them both. If you decide to invest in them, if you think it makes sense, I would probably buy both of these cases. And I'll tell you why I think you should buy both these cases. So earlier this past month, I gave you guys a pretty interesting post over on my X where I do like all this investment analysis offline for you. Definitely utilize this resource, guys. There's a lot of very valuable data on my X because it's not just my takes, not just my strategies, but you also get to see what the community says and how they react. And the investors on X, they don't always agree with me. And I want to make sure, I don't put myself in a box and have like an echo chamber type of community or an echo chamber mindset. You always want to like see what the other people are saying and like have an open mind. So definitely use X as a good resource to be balanced and to see what other investors and your peers are doing. But the reason I bring this up is because I gave you guys a pretty nice quote unquote secret, not so secret CS strategy that could make you a lot of money for cases. So don't skip over this part. This is actually a very interesting part of how you guys can actually make money in the short term when it comes to cases. And here's the strategy. It's very simple. It's a simple system consistently to grow your Steam balance. Step 1, buy recoil cases and dreams and nightmares, 50-50 split. So what you do is you use your Steam balance funds and you buy the recoil cases on dips. You buy the dreams and nightmares cases on dips. I would probably wait until like the reset later this week, see if they dip, and buy that dip. And you buy them equally. You buy 50-50 split. Half of your money goes into nightmares, half of your money goes into recoils, right? You split it 50-50, and then step 2, you hold these cases until one of them gets removed from the active drop pool. So you basically keep accumulating both of these cases on weakness, on dips. You buy as many as you can on any weakness. You accumulate your shares, you accumulate your cases, and then one of them is going to get removed. Either the Dreams and Nightmares case or the recoil case. It is pretty much guaranteed that one of them will be removed. There is a very, very high likelihood that one of them is removed. Then, when that one case is removed, whether it's Nightmares, whether it's recoils, when one of them is removed, you sell the price spike. If the Dreams and Nightmares case gets removed and it spikes to $3, $4, you sell your cases. Maybe you sell half of your cases, all of your cases. That is up to you as the individual investor. I can't tell you when and how much to sell. But what I'd recommend is you sell at least a small percentage or a decent percentage into the price spike, and then you rotate your profits into the next case that is going to be removed or the next investment. And then you rinse and repeat. And you do this for the next couple of cycles. You do this for the cycle when the Revolution case gets removed next. Or sorry, next, after this next cycle. And then after Revolution, it'll probably be, I guess, Kilowatt, right? So, that would be a good approach, in my opinion. Feel free to give it a try. And that's why I bundled up these cases together. So on any weakness, these cases are strong buys because of their potential to be removed from the active drop pool, and you can lock in short-term profits. Again, you as the investor can decide when to sell. You don't have to wait for them to be removed because you never know. With so much volatility, let's say in a couple of days you can buy, let's say in a couple of days you guys can buy a Dreams and Nightmares case for $1.50, right? And then a couple days later, you buy them $1.50, and then they spike to $2.20 again. Let's say it does like some sort of a boom, goes up, then goes back down. You buy here, then it goes back up. I don't blame you for locking in gains on this up here. Like, does that make sense? Like, let's say you invest in DNN, and then you invest in recoils, and then one of your cases does a pretty nice pump. You could probably sell in the short term, wait for the next pump to get back in. That's also fine too. I mean, obviously everyone has different time horizons, different risk tolerances, different strategies. I'm just giving you guys options. What I like to do is to give you options here on these streams and these lives. So those are my top cases that I am personally eyeing and investing in. I'm not really interested in anything else. I mean, there's other cases as well that you can put money to work. I guess the one thing I want to say is don't over invest in cases, and don't have all of your money in cases. I think that cases are still valid investment vehicles in Counter-Strike, but I don't think that they are the only investment vehicle in Counter-Strike, and I think that there is still risk for cases because Valve are trying to sunset these cases. They're trying to get people to still give them money without opening cases, if that makes sense. And that's for another video. That's another stream topic to discuss, like, the future of cases and, like, where they're going. But what I am saying is, take advantage of dips, take advantage of cases going down in value, and yeah, I think that these cases are pretty solid picks. So with that being said, let's do some Q&A here, guys. Let's see how many of you guys are active. Let's see. Let's pop out the chat. There's 300 of you guys in here. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the stream. Make sure to vote in the poll. What are you guys doing during this market crash? Are you buying the dip? Most of you guys are buying the dip. I am buying all in on fractures. Okay, fractures are fine too. Just be mindful of the supply of fractures. They seem to be kind of high. It may take a little bit of time for prices to go down. Or not go down, sorry, for prices to, start accelerating. Look, I like fractures, and I talked about it. I do like fractures. And actually, I think I swear I made a post on X about fractures, if I have not. 5 undervalued, look at this, chat. October 15th, 5 undervalued CS2 cases that I gave to you guys on X. And here was my analysis on fracture cases. They were removed from the active draw pool, but they're still open pretty frequently. They contain rare golds that are only found in 2 cases. 1 discontinued, 1 in the rare drop. So yes, did I forget to mention fractures this stream? Sure. I'm sorry if I didn't mention fractures. There's still potential in fractures. I just don't think that, I don't like how large of a supply there is in them. So I'm not saying it's a bad investment. I just think that the supply is pretty large, and it may take longer than other cases to rise, if that makes sense. But, chat, I love the fundamentals of it containing golds that are only found in 2 cases and are only, what's it called? One of which is discontinued, meaning no new cases, and another one is rare, which is fracture, which is harder to drop. So I like fracture cases, guys. Please, don't take it the wrong way. Hello, boss. How you doing? Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Hey, Fano, can you tell me, should I sell my knife or wait a couple weeks? That is completely your decision to make. I recommend, if you want some other ideas from people, go read my X post. Read this post if you think that the market crash is not over. I want to hear what the community has to say. This post is going viral, so I want more people to talk about it and to give your takes on it. And, yeah, I posted the link in the chat. See what the community is saying. See what other people are saying. Get an overall gauge of the sentiment, and go from there. That would be my recommendation to you. I would not be selling knives here, though. Personally, I'm not selling knives. That doesn't mean you have to follow me or copy me, but I'm not selling my knives. Also, keep in mind, guys, knives are not created equal. There are better knives than others. There's better cases than others. Are you waiting for a second crash? I'm personally not waiting for a second crash, and I explain it in this post. So read this post on X, see if you agree, and we'll go from there. What are your thoughts on revolver cases? They were a great case for a long time because of the they were the cheapest case that contained the OG knives, the karambits and stuff. Nowadays, I don't think they fit the mold exactly like they used to. So I do expect them to underperform other cases, if that's what you're asking. I'm not saying you can't profit from them. I'm not saying they're a terrible investment or a bad investment. I'm just saying they were the cheapest case. Now they're not. And I don't know. I mean, now that you can do knife trade-ups, is it really worth it, if that makes sense? Because here's the thing. Here's one thing that people need to understand, guys. It's very important that you understand this concept, because if you look at the knives that are found in the revolver case, like let's say Karambit Blue Steel, this Karambit Blue Steel or Karambit Fade is found in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cases. And now we can use skins from these other 10 cases to use in trade-ups to get these knives. So why would I target the cheapest case, revolver case, when I could target a skin from, like an ugly skin from the Vanguard case? If anything, I think the coverts from the Vanguard case that nobody cares about, nobody likes them, like, are more attractive for me as somebody who wants to gamble for a knife. Does that make sense? So I think the revolver case isn't as special as it used to be, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's a terrible investment. So hopefully that makes sense. Should I invest in purples? I think so. I think purples on any weakness should be bought. Purples and pinks and skins that can be used in trade-ups to the coverts. I think going forward, more people are going to be using trade-up contracts. So yes, I'm with you there. Hey, Fano, I was thinking of buying Badland gloves, but I feel like their price has been manipulated. Their price has been manipulated. Badlands, let's see here. Why have their... When was this? When did this manipulation happen? I don't see manipulation here. Seems pretty straightforward to me. It's down 43%. Those of you that are asking me, hey, Fano, should I wait to buy the dip? This is your dip. It's down 43% in 7 days. Like, what are you waiting for? If you want these gloves, you buy the dip. They're only found in glove and hydras, yeah. And these are factory news, by the way. I mean, you could probably look at, I guess, other ones, too. Hey, Fano, do you trust Valve not destroying trading? Do you still trust Valve that they won't completely destroy trading? Yes, I do, and I'll tell you why. Jesus actually, shout out to Jesus, he actually said it perfectly. Look at what he posted. It blows my mind that so many people think that A, Valve are getting rid of cases, and B, Valve are getting rid of trading. Number one rule of business is that when you have something that makes you $1 billion per year, you don't pour petrol on it and try to set it on fire. That's a very good point. Point number two, why I don't think they're going to kill trading, is this. Also, you generally don't go to the trouble of adding a trade protection system, a trade reversal system, when you plan on getting rid of trading. Typically, what you do is you just disable the trading altogether and you don't add new features. So the fact that they implemented a 7-day cooldown trade reversal period makes me believe that they're not trying to actively kill their trading system. So I don't think that's the future. I don't believe in the narrative that Valve are purposely trying to kill their market, kill their cases or their skins and knives, and become like Valorant. I just don't see that happening. So hopefully that makes sense. As a person that cannot spend that much money on cases, what would you spend 10 euros on? So 10 euros, if you cannot spend a lot of money, 10 euros, if I were you with only 10 euros, I mean, my friend, that's not a lot to work with. You gotta, like, what to do with only 10 euros? try to find a way to get more euros, I guess. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Paris says get a job. I mean, yeah, try to get more money. I would say, yeah, 10 euros isn't going to make you a lot. So if you had to pick a case, I would definitely go after the cheaper cases. So maybe sort on the Steam market. If you could do, let's see here. Let's see. Go after, if you look for case. Well, actually, no. Let's do search advanced options container. Search container and do case. Cheapest case. Go after some of the cheaper cases. Probably target the recoil case just because you can get recoils for very cheap. I would say, yeah, fractures, recoils, and snake bites. Snake bites, fractures, recoils. Those three. Recoils, fractures, snake bites. Put them on your list. Set your buy orders for a very low price. And hope that they start crashing in the next couple of days. And your buy orders start hitting. Because you are really strapped for cash. 10 euros is not a lot. And you need to get in at the lowest price possible. So you can't afford to be buying them up here at 50. You got to make sure you try to get them for a lower price. If they drop to that price. So with only 10 euros, I would do that. I would, yeah, so let me actually write that down. That's actually a good point. If you don't have a lot of money to invest in CS2 cases, pick the cheaper or cheap or cheapest cases in circulation. Number 2, set buy orders at below market levels and buy the dips. Your goal is to accumulate as many cases as you can for as low of a price as possible. Does that make sense? When you're strapped for cash. And then in the meantime, try to find ways to get more income, spending money to deposit for future trade investments, I guess. Does that make sense, guys? Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. All right, let's see. What are some other questions, guys? What do you guys have? Dreams and Nightmares case is the best case. I like DNM, but it's expensive. What's your thoughts on the Prisma 2 case? I like Prisma 2 over Prismas just because it's just cheaper. And yeah, I like the Prisma 2 case. What do you think about elemental stickers and armory items? I'm still bullish on armory items. I like them. I was able to get a Bravo case for $42. Okay. How long are you planning on holding? Are you going to sell on the pump? Should I hold on to my coverts? Depends on the covert. Some coverts are better than others to hold on to. I would say, generally speaking, you want to sell your coverts the higher up they go, but maybe don't sell all of them. Yeah. Snakebite or recoil long term? I think recoil short term, snakebite long term. Snakebite if you want to be a passive long-term investor, recoil if you want to be a short-term investor to grow fast. So if you want hyper growth, you go for recoil for the potential to be removed, right? Recoil potential to be removed, short-term bounce, right? And then if you want a steady long-term passive growth, you want to go for snakebite cases. Or fractures, depending on what you're interested in, but I think snake bites are pretty good too. Does that make sense, guys? Hopefully that makes sense. I want to make sure you guys are following along here. Okay. There's a fact that nobody seems to talk about, which is the future red. Everyone focusing on the amount of reds, but no one talks about the future red. What do you mean the future red? What does that mean, future red? Future coverts? What about future coverts? Should I buy knives now or wait for a week? Those of you that are asking me whether or not to buy cases right now, highly recommend you guys read my post. Read my post on X. Read this post if you think the market crash is not over, if you think we're going to crash further. I'm telling you, this post is growing fast. But don't just read my post and agree with me. Read my post, think about it, and then see what other members of the community are saying, and then come to your own conclusion. The whole point of this X, all my X posts that I'm linking in the chat, the whole point of that is to get more investors engaged and talking, because that makes me a better investor. That makes me learn from you guys so that I can improve myself and make more money, and then hopefully you guys can make more money. So that's the whole goal. So please read that post if you're asking whether or not to sell or to buy or to like what's going to happen in the next couple of days. Read this post because I think it's very valuable. What stickers would you buy if you only had 20 euros? If I only had 20 euros, I'd probably be buying elementals. Elemental stickers, because they are probably most likely going to be removed. Buy the more popular elemental stickers on the, on the dips. So any of these stickers that are very popular that you've done your homework on, definitely buy the weakness with $20. Those are the best stickers at the moment, I would say. Let's see here. How should I spend my stars in the armory right now? Okay. That's actually a great question. Not related to cases, but great question. Armory stars should be spent on fever cases because potential to be removed soon. Or holding on to. What do I mean by holding on to? Let's say in a couple of weeks, they decide to give us a new item. If they decide to give us a brand new item, a lot of people are probably going to be interested in that item. Because they're going to be interested in that item, they're going to be redeeming. And guess what? The first people that redeem are going to be the first people that can sell and can trade and can get rid of their new item while it's still very expensive and people are talking about it. You guys need to understand how markets work. They work on demand and supply. When a new item enters the market and there's a lot of demand for it, and a low supply, the prices are going to be high and expensive, and you want to be one of those first people that can sell. So it's a very good strategy that a lot of people aren't really talking about at the moment, at least. So my recommendation to you is if you have armory stars, keep at least 100 of them, maybe 200 of them, depending on, how much money you're willing to hold in these stars, your tolerance, right? Your risk tolerance. But, keep a minimum threshold, and then any additional star that you accrue, I would spend it on cases. That would be my strategy. Are classifieds a good investment from like cases? Yes, classifieds are solid. Classifieds are solid. They're probably going to rise with time. I mean, it's inevitable, guys. Eventually, we're going to run into a scenario where coverts become super expensive, and we're just going to need more classifieds to be used in trade-ups, to be burned. Classifieds are going to get burned. They're gonna supply go down. Then people are gonna burn the purples and the blues. More people are gonna start opening cases. Valve are probably gonna start introducing more and more terminals that allow people to buy skins at a faster rate or add skins into the game very quickly just by buying them. So I mean, this is the future of Counter-Strike, guys, and it's our goal as investors to make money from this. Where to sell cases when done with them? Steam Market or elsewhere? I think you can do both. I think you can sell them on Flow or the Steam. Like, those are pretty good too. Do you think the Snakebite case is a good buy right now? At the moment, probably not. At the moment, I am not buying recoils. I'm not buying Snakebites. I'm waiting for a dip, guys. As you can clearly see, we literally dipped. This was a good buying opportunity. Now we ripped. This is not a good buying opportunity. Wait for a dip. It's very volatile. I would personally be waiting for the Tuesday reset cycle. Wait for cases to be reset. Wait for new cases to flood the market. When the new cases get flooded into the market because of the weekly reset, that is where you're going to make your most alpha. Starlight Protector, all these skins, all these coverts. Yeah, you're listing a bunch of really good coverts. Any classified recommendations? Go after the ones that are from these popular coverts. Like, if you're asking for what classifieds to invest in, find the skins and cases that people are primarily interested in doing knife contracts and target those purples and pinks. So there's tons of great options, and we've already listed a bunch of cases here. Let's see if I can make this smaller. By the way, guys, this notepad file with all my notes that I took this stream will be uploaded to my Discord server. So if you guys want this for free, just join the Discord server. I'll post it in the investment channel. You guys can just copy it and read it at your leisure if you guys don't want to take notes. Should I keep my Ocean Drive Deagles? Ocean Drive is pretty good. I like it. Ocean Drive is a covert from Riptide. It is used to get, obviously, the Butterfly Emeralds. Should I keep it? That's a you question. Only you can answer that. I would say it definitely bounced off the lows, and depending on what price you paid for it, you could exit it here. I am generally net negative on coverts right now because they're printing. They're making money right now, most coverts. So I would be selling most coverts slowly and moving into other assets, stickers, and cases and capsules that are cheaper. Don't worry, guys. We'll be doing a stream on Budapest and sticker capsule investing because a lot of people are not talking about that anymore, and we're only a couple weeks away from new stickers being added to the game. So if you're interested in that analysis, make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll have more streams talking about that very, very soon. So definitely be ready for that. Trident with the 5 memberships, bro. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for your generosity, bro. Congrats to everybody who got a membership. Let's get some hearts in the chat for Trident. Welcome to the Fano Squad, guys. All of you that got your subs, make sure you thank him for his generosity. How do you cash out from Steam? You cash out from Steam by selling your items, selling your cases, your skins, your knives on third-party sites and getting a withdrawal to bank transfer or through crypto or however you want to cash out. What will happen after the 7-day trade ban? I already talked about it in my X post. If you want to read this post, it pretty much outlines what I think is going to happen, and then you can see how the community is reacting to it. It's a pretty viral post right now. Let's see here. You could just buy a Steam Deck too. True. Hey, Fano, please tell me, do I sell my coverts to buy a knife? Yes. Exit your coverts, most of your coverts, and enter into the knives that you've always wanted, the knives that are falling in price, that there's still demand. Please, 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 only buy knives that are popular, that are good, that have demand, that have long-term fundamentals. People generally want to buy. Don't buy some cheap knives that nobody wants or nobody cares just because they're cheap. Just because a knife is $5 or not, sorry, not $5. Just because a knife is like 50 or 100 or $70 doesn't make it a good buy. Oh, I'm getting it at a steal at a very low price. It's a low price for a reason, guys. It's because nobody wants it, you know? That's how I see it. What should I do with $500? You have a lot of potential with $500. A lot of money you can make with 500. I would save some for Budapest. Buy some cases now on any on dips like recoils and dreams and nightmares and yeah, just there's tons of options, my guy. Thoughts on a kukri fade? I like the kukri fade. I think it's underrated. Kukris are underrated. Let's see here. We got a new member, Robin, tier 3. Shout out to you, bro. Do you think knives will go up again, or should I sell my knife now and buy cases? If you want more growth, I think getting into cases, stickers, and capsules will give you more growth potential to multiply your money faster than knives. That being said, though, knives are pretty cheap right now, relatively speaking. They're a lot cheaper than they were yesterday or last week. So buying knives now is probably smart too. Buying the right knife is probably smart right now. Like finding the knives that people want. So it's hard to say. It's hard to say, Robin. It really comes down to what your goals are. Should I keep my Paris capsules? Make sure you're not at a loss. Only only sell your Paris capsules when you break even or make profit. Did I say new member? I am so sorry, Robin. You are a 30-month member. Let me give you a Don DeMarco, bro. I appreciate you, my guy. Thank you so much for your patronage, your generosity. Don't sell red now. Trade up averages are still profitable, so more room for reds to grow. Okay, but you do realize, pairs, that if you sell, you lock in those gains, and then you can use that money for cheaper items that are cheap now. Like, when you have profits, you want to take them, guys. I would hate for you to be this guy. Let me show you something here. I would hate for you guys to fall into the trap of thinking that prices can only go up. So I made an X post a couple of days ago on October 21st, right before the crash, literally the day before the crash, chat. I made a post the day before the crash saying how the market cap is 6 billion. We're making a lot of new highs, new money is flowing. If you own any of these 4 skins, consider selling them because they've run up so many percentage points. The same thing is happening now. Like, there's a lot of coverts that are thousands of percentage points higher that, like, it would be a fool to just think that they're gonna only rise. And when you have profits, you should capture them. There's always another investment, another play. Taking profits is actually discipline, and it's not weakness, and nobody ever got hurt taking a profit. So I say all of this to say, when you have profits, you take them. You don't just assume that they're gonna keep rising. I didn't sell my train collection. Am I cooked? Maybe. In the short term, you're cooked, yeah. That's funny, Devin. What about Danger Zone cases? Are they worth it? I like Danger Zone and Horizons, but I'm not as bullish on them as other cases right now. Can they continue to rise? Yes. Are they going to be fine investments? Yes. Are they the best investments? You're going to have to make a compelling argument as to why they're the best investment right now. And to me, I don't see them. I could obviously change my mind, but it's up to you. Is the favorite case cooked short term? I have 800. No. Don't panic sell. The worst thing you can do is panic sell your fevers. That is the worst thing you can do. Don't panic sell your fever cases. I don't think it's cooked. I really don't. I think people are slowly forgetting about the fever case. I think there's a lot of people that aren't going to be redeeming it as much. People are right now panicking and talking about knives and other cases and focusing on contracts and trade ups. I think the smart investor right now is slowly stacking fevers and slowly stacking recoils and slowly stacking dreams and nightmares on weaknesses. So I'm gonna just give you guys my strategy. So what I'm doing, my strategy with cases, so there's no ambiguity. Here it is. Here is my strategy. I am doing the following. I am slowly and silently, I guess not so silently anymore, not anymore, collecting or stacking fever cases for 80 cents using armory passes. I am also slowly accumulating recoil cases and dreams and nightmares cases when they dip or crash using buy orders. So basically what I'll do is I will, let's see if do I have it? Okay, yeah, I'll use recoil case as an example. I am setting buy orders for, I guess, somewhere between 40 and 50 cents. Getting them between 40 and 50 cents Steam market price would be a good entry point. If you guys are using other third-party sites, I would obviously adjust that depending on where you guys have cash. So keep that in mind. Using buy orders to accumulate recoil cases and Dreams and Nightmares cases, that is another very valid strategy that I'm doing. And then I guess the third one, so that's gallery, or sorry, that's Fever, that's Dreams and Nightmares recoil, and then gallery cases. I am only buying gallery cases for under $1, but you have to keep in mind, guys, there's a but here. The reason I'm doing that is the reason I am only buying under $1 is because my cost basis, or the price I paid for my current position in gallery cases is under $1. So if I go back to my cost basis, I'm going to obviously continue stacking the lower they go so that I could have more shares and I can make more money on the inevitable rise, because I genuinely believe that it's inevitable for these types of cases to continue rising over time. It may take a couple of years. Some cases will grow faster, some will grow slower, but in the long run, I think gallery case is a solid long-term investment. It's a very passive investment for me. So these are the only three cases, like, these are the only things that I'm doing right now. Obviously, there's probably other things that you can do. This may not be the most optimal strategy for cases, but it's the one that works for me and that I'm willing to tolerate with my risk tolerances. So that's how I see it. Hopefully that answers your question. Make sure you guys hit the like button if you guys are finding value from this, guys. Please hit the like button. There is very too many of you guys here, and you got to hit the like button. It's completely free. It really helps my channel. How do you accumulate in bulk? Buy orders. You accumulate in bulk. You're using buy order requests and passively growing. Buy orders, and then obviously using, like, on float, you can, make trades with them, and there's no easy way outside of Steam, if I'm going to be honest with you. Steam is the fastest and the easiest way to buy in bulk. I sold cases that have already recovered. Good for you. Arvid says, should I hold my 4K Austin Contenders capsules? I think I made a post about Austin a couple weeks ago or a couple days ago, I forget, that highlights the strategy for Austin. Maybe I didn't. Let me see here. Where did I say about Austin? Warning. The contenders. Investors don't seem to care. Are you stacking or selling? Be careful. Oh, no. I made a YouTube video. Be careful investing in Austins. These capsules, different scenarios. Ah, yes. Here it is. Here it is. This is the post for Austin investors. My advice is to basically take profits on Austin. Now, that being said, though, this was posted weeks ago when we had higher gains, so I don't know what price you paid for your Austin capsules. Right now, they're probably down or lower than they were on October 12th. So, it's up to you if you want to sell. I've already locked in some gains, so I'm chilling, but if you haven't, I would say it's a 50-50. It's a coin flip, my guy. Austin is a coin flip. Budapest comes out in a couple weeks. Austin either prints or it dumps, and it's really hard to say which way it's going to go. So, yeah, I don't know. You're going to have to make a decision on your own. I don't want to be the one to tell you to do one way or the other. Will gallery cases drop? I don't personally see them dropping, but if they do, I'm going to buy the dip. I'm sitting on only 200 Austins. I'd probably keep. If you only have 200 Austins, I'd probably keep Austins. In my opinion, what knives will drop in price after... In your opinion, what knives are going to drop in price? I think the knives that drop the most in price are going to be the more common knives, the cheaper knives. The higher tier knives have already been liquidated out of the big whales and the collectors, so we're not going to see a huge crash in the more higher sought-after knives. Because think about it, guys. Think about it. You're asking me this question. What knives are going to drop in value? People are hoping that their favorite knives drop in value. People are praying that, butterfly fades and M9 fades and M9 Dopplers and karambit rubies and sapphires and all these beautiful, beautiful skins that everybody wants. People are hoping that they continue to crash so that they hit their targets, so that they don't miss the boat. They don't miss the dip. If everybody thinks this way, you all are gonna be ready and you're gonna buy the dip quickly. And if you buy the dip quickly and you see other people buying the dip quickly, the dip isn't gonna be as big as everybody thinks it is. It's just not. Now, again, I don't want to turn this stream into a whole debate stream. If you want to debate me on this topic, please go to my X post and leave a reply with your ideas and your rebuttals. I'm not here to debate you on whether or not there's going to be more crash and pain. I'm going to leave that offline. Should I buy? Okay, I already responded to that. Let's see. I know everybody's asking that question, and I definitely want you guys to go to the X post. What do you think? Should I invest with 50 euros? 50 euros, couple cases, not capsules, stickers. Elemental stickers, cases. Elemental stickers, cases. That is what I am doing. But again, don't just blindly copy what I'm doing. Again, with 100 euros, I like cases, I like capsules, and I like stickers. I didn't hear your response. Sorry. Should I sell my oligarch and buy elemental stickers? In the short term, yes, that trade is going to make you more money. Selling your oligarch will most likely be better so that you can free up that cash, buy your elemental stickers at a lower price, and make profits. Yes. Can you trade up for a vanilla knife? I believe so. I think so. Why wouldn't you? It's part of the knife collection. Is now a good price for Dreams and Nightmares cases? Dreams and Nightmares cases are kind of expensive right now. You're asking for €1.15. Depends where you're buying and where you're selling. Like, on the Steam market, it's not. But maybe you're not buying it on the Steam market. Maybe you're buying it off of a third-party site. So, it really depends. Excuse me. It's all relative, guys. It's all relative. The marketplaces you use is relative. Hey, Fano, what do you think about the Rocks Hollow or the capsule that Rocks sticker is contained in it? I love it. I love that sticker capsule. I think that it's an underrated Antwerp capsule, and I think that there will be future growth for it, for sure. Should I sell my graphic and gallery collection skins? Yes. I would be offloading, Arvids. I would be offloading, my friend. Offloading. I would be offloading. Maybe not panic selling and getting rid of it 100%, but definitely locking in your gains now. Hey, Fano, I'm down $10,000. I'm targeting some classifieds and some cheap coverts right now. Again, investing in coverts right now is risky because everybody's talking about them. Demand is high for them. I think it's smarter to go after the cheaper skins in the collections, like the pinks and the purples, as opposed to the coverts, and to just focus on them instead, because that's where the hockey puck is going. That's where the ball is moving towards. Coverts have already made the big jump. Now it's time for other skins to catch up. If you don't want to invest in pinks and classifieds, I would, take some of that money and put it into cases that contain those skins, if that makes sense. Hey, Fano, did you know that Valve could make a reverse trade-up? 5 cheap golds to a red? That would be insane if they did. That'd be stupid, though. Why is selling graphic collection? Can you explain? I have an op CMYK. Pretty simple, actually. Why? It already already rose. So I'm assuming you bought this when it was like cheap. I'm hoping that you bought when it was like $500, $600 when nobody was buying it. And you should have sold it at the peak, but now, it's recovering. I mean, you're still up a lot of money. You're basically, the answer to your question is, it's opportunity cost. You're freeing up a skin that has a lot of money attached to it, and like, you're freeing up that capital, that cash, to invest in cheaper items like cases that can net you a higher return. Does that make sense? Because right now, at $2,000 for your op, in order for it to double, it would have to go to like $4,000, which could happen over the next couple of years, but you can double a case much easier than you can double a very expensive $2,000 skin. So why not just take that capital, move it into something that's like cheaper, and then have like an easier time to grow? Does that make sense? So here's the thing. I'm not saying you have to sell out of your, you know, your skins. You have to sell your graphics. What I am saying is I would trim positions, guys. As investors, we should be trimming. So not just case investors, but here's a pro tip. Here is a pro tip. If you are a case investor or a sticker investor or a skin investor, and it doesn't just have to be the higher tier skins, it can be cheaper skins as well. It doesn't have to be the coverts in the collection. If you are one of these investors and you have profits, periodically take your profits and sell on the spike and rise. So for example, I'll give you a very excellent example here. If you look at, let's say the recoil case. Actually, no, I'll use a better example so you can actually visualize it better. Look at the Riptide case, guys. I'll give you a personal anecdote. So, if you look at the, let me see if I can pull up the Steam chart. So, I invested in Riptide cases. Let me show you guys when I invested in them. I invested in Riptide cases. Let's see here. Paris was here. Paris was a flop. Prices went down. I bought here during this dip here, right? So I bought Riptide cases, hundreds of them, for somewhere between $5 and $4. I forget exactly when maybe it was in March, honestly. It was pretty low. Somewhere between 4 and 5, 450, 550. I don't know the exact time I bought. So I bought then, and if you look at it, if you bought over then, you could have sold at $6, you could have sold at $7, you could have sold at $10, $11, you could have sold at $17, you could have sold at $20. So my point being is, when you make your investment, when you start your position, you want to start offloading your position periodically throughout the gains. So for example, when it was at $4.50, you could have sold some at like $6.50. You could have sold some at $7.50, at $8.50. You could have sold even more at $9, $8, $10, $11. Maybe not all of them, but anytime you see like prices just moving higher and higher, like here, you sell. Here, you sell. Like $8, $8.50, $9, $10. You set your price targets, it's called. So what you do is you set price targets. And you periodically sell, and you sell at those price targets. For example, let's say you buy, capsules at 25 cents per capsule. You sell 25% of them at 50 cents. You sell 25% of them at 75 cents. You sell 25% of them at $1. Why? Because it protects you, it makes sure that you lock in gains while you have them, and it makes sure that you don't miss the boat when it comes to locking in gains, because I would hate for you to be like one of these Shanghai investors who did not sell at the top. So let me show you here. If you look at the Shanghai capsule, if you had invested in Shanghai like I was doing, like I was talking about, at 25 cents, you could have sold easily at 70 cents. You could have sold at 96 cents. You could have sold at $1.19, $1.50, $2 almost, $1.85. You sell these peaks. And then if you didn't sell and you kept holding, you lost, like, you didn't lose money, but you definitely lost those gains. Those gains evaporated. And now from the highs to the lows, you're not looking so hot. So yeah, I mean, like, you always want to take profits when you have them, guys. Take profits when you have them. Should I buy now or wait for it to be cheaper? Those of you that are asking me that question, my response is go to this tweet right here. I'm pasting the tweet here. Definitely do that. I'm always here to help, Fano. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, man. What do you think? Am I having good covert Legion of Anubis, Bullet Rain, Angry Moss, Starlight? Which ones should I sell now? Which ones should I hold? I would probably hold the Starlight Protectors, just because they seem to be pretty popular, and obviously for Emerald purposes. Especially if they remove the Dreams and Nightmares case, your Starlight Protectors are going to go through the roof. So I would say I would probably keep those, but I mean, hard to say. Should I sell my Dragonfire minimum wear or wait for further possible increases? Let's take a look at it. Dragonfire, you said? Dragonfire is one of the more popular ones. It's from the glove case. Seems to be spammed a lot for Pandora's gloves. And I'm looking at the chart, and this thing is just making new highs. So that should definitely scare you. The higher it goes, the more just fear I have as an investor. So I probably would sell. I don't know how many you have, but I mean, is now a good time? I mean, bro, look at this chart at almost $400. I would be locking in that gain. Like, we're pumping, we're going down, we're pumping, we're going down. I can't tell you if we're gonna reach newer highs. We might. But it's really hard to say. So my advice would be, if you have a couple of these, to start selling them slowly. Problem is that the sites take their profit also, so you don't get the best or same price. Which sites? Which sites take their share of the profit? Every site is like that. The world operates like that. So, I mean, there's always going to be fees. That shouldn't stop you from investing just because there's fees. What are your price targets for the fever case? Oh, that's actually a good question. Since we are talking about cases, let me share with you guys my price targets. So those of you that stuck around for my strategy, here is what I'm doing with my cases. Let me give you my price targets. So here we go. So price targets for fever case. So I am accumulating fever cases at 80 cents, right? So I'm buying in at 80 cents. Let me make this bigger actually for some of you to see. Okay, here we go. So 80 cents is my buy-in. I am buying at 80 cents, right? And if I look at the chart, now the question is, do I sell on the Steam market or do I sell it on a third-party market site? So I'll tell you what I'll do with my gallery cases. With my gallery cases, I will probably sell on float market. And move that money into some other, like, and move that, like, to have liquid cash. Like, move that money outside of Steam, if that makes sense. That's what I'll do with gallery cases. Why did I choose gallery cases? Because they're going to be more expensive. I'm going to hold them longer than I'm going to hold fever cases. And yeah, it's my long-term investment. I have thousands of these gallery cases. When I liquidate them all, slowly liquidate them all, it's going to be thousands and thousands of dollars in the future. So I kind of want to have cash balance so I can make newer investments and I can have cash outside of Steam that caps you at $2,000. Does that make sense, chat? Remember that Steam balance is capped at 2,000 US dollars. So it's capped. So because of that, I'm cashing out on third party for gallery. But for Fever Case, I might actually keep it in the Steam market ecosystem. I haven't decided yet. So I'm gonna just, and the reason I bring this up is so that you can I'm gonna be basing off my price targets and numbers from the perspective of selling on the Steam market. Obviously, you're gonna have to adjust this if you bought them cheaper and had to sell them, obviously at a cheaper price on the alternative sites. Hopefully that makes sense. So for fever cases, they're currently at $1. Like I said, I'm buying them at 80 cents. And what's a good price target? Well, I'm looking at recent highs, and I'm looking that it reached $1.62. So that's an interesting price point. The next highest peak was $1.57. I'm going to round it down to $1.50 as a decent price exit point, right? So I'm going to say $1.50 would probably be a good point to start selling. So if I see that there is a volume spike and people are like buying them at higher clips rates, I'm going to be starting to sell at $1.50. Does that mean I'm going to sell all of them at $1.50? No. Maybe some of them are $1.50. Maybe some of them are 55, 57, 52. I'm going to be listing them and trying to exit my position then. I don't know if I'm going to sell all of them or half of them, but I think $1.50 is a good entry point. I'm going to start selling when they reach this price. Or actually, no, I'm going to start selling them either when they reach this price or... Well, actually, no, hold on. I'm trying to think, because, like, what if they reach this price? If they reach this price before they get marked. So, like, there's a couple scenarios. So, if they reach $1.50 before last chance, I will sell. Actually, will I sell? That's a good point. No, I will not sell. I think I will not sell. Because by then, we should be closer to the actual date of removal, and it's not 100% priced in yet. And demand and volume will probably be low. So I won't be able to sell like hundreds and thousands of them. Does that make sense? So if they reach $1.50 before last chance, I will not sell. However, if they reach $1.50 after last chance marked, I will sell at this price and above. And the question is, how much will I sell? That really depends. Depends on a couple factors. How much I sell depends on what current or what investments are available and attractive at the moment. Does that make sense? Like, if we have at the moment. So if we have something interesting to invest in, something, you know, that's a good investment at the time, I'll sell more. If we don't have a lot of good investments, I'll keep more. Does that make sense? Like, good alternatives equals sell more. Bad alternatives, there's no good investments, I will keep more. So sell more meaning I'll probably sell 50 to 75% in the first pop. Keep more means I'll probably only sell 25%. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. And yeah, good alternatives at the time. All right, let's see. What are some other questions you guys have? Are Black Lamb knives okay to buy, or are they too undesirable? Personally, I would stay away from Black Lambs. If you like the way they look, if you want to use them in your loadouts, please just buy the knife, my guy. Like, maybe wait like a week and see if they dip further. But like, the community generally doesn't like Black Lambs that much. So if you really like them, just buy it, my guy. Like, there's no point in just like penny pinching and hoping it goes lower. Just buy it. Do you have an Excel spreadsheet? Yes, I have an Excel spreadsheet that I use to keep track of my investments. What do you think about character craft stickers like the Flex sticker, Fly High, Taste Buddy? I like them. Character stickers are under the radar right now. Prices have gone down. I would be buying on the dips. What do I do? What do I do when my case prices have dropped significantly? Just hold on to them for the best dollar cost average. Guys, that's a great question. When case prices crash or go down, not on any fundamentals, but pure market fear and just FUD, I would say, yeah, I would say when that happens, you dollar cost average and you buy more. You dollar cost average and you buy more. Buy more. Buy more. Buy the dip. Lower your cost basis. Let's say, guys, you bought at $1.50 and the price goes down to $1.20. Good entry point. Goes even lower to $1. Good entry point. You average them up. 1.5 plus 120 plus 1 divided by 3. Your new price is somewhere in the middle, right? Like, it's somewhere, I don't know, $1.23 or 24. So you wanna average it out, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. When prices go down, you buy. I have a few glove cases. Should I sell them right now? I would not be in a rush to sell. I would monitor the price of glove cases and sell on any spikes. Does that make sense? So like, so I don't know what price you paid for them, but like if you bought them down here at 6 and now they're at 10 or 12, I would sell. Maybe not all of them, but definitely sell the rip higher. Let's see here. Fever case. We already talked about the fever case. Let's see here. What about gloves? Should you buy gloves? Gloves are pretty cool. I'd probably buy the older gloves. What's up, Pawn? How you doing, bro? Omega gloves. Is that a nice deal? 150 Steam Wallet. That's a really good deal. I like Omegas. Yeah, buy the dip. Buy the dip is probably smart. Do cases always dip on Tuesdays? Generally speaking, yes. If you're looking to buy cases, I would wait for Tuesday evening, Wednesday morning for you guys to actually buy your cases. If you don't want to wait and do it manually, a good strategy, guys, is to set your buy orders today. The earlier, the better. And if you have more money, uh, put more orders in. Put more orders in, if that makes sense. And target the cases that you've made, like, as part of your list, right? Like, you guys saw my strategy with cases. You guys know my list. You guys are the investors and the captains of your portfolio, and you need to figure out, target which cases and then set your buy orders and act accordingly. Do you think cases will skyrocket after the market stabilizes? I think there's a potential for them to go higher. Yeah, I think cases are under the radar. That's why I'm doing this cases live stream, so that I can give you guys some ideas for cases going forward, because, yeah, there's potential in them for sure. Will the M4 Fade perform compared to the Hot Rod Blue Phosphor with supply so much higher? Price predictions on the Fade? I like the M4 Fade. I don't know if it'll reach the same level of Hot Rod, but it definitely can go higher. It can definitely get back to 1,000 for sure. It can be over $1,000. Just purely based off of demand. People will still want fades. Break time. How's it going, chat? We move? What are we moving? Wait, what? Are we getting up? Are we doing some push-ups? Like, what are we doing, Steven? What are we doing? Let's see here. The M4 Bullet Rain has 64,000 left on float, down from 72. Do you see the main wear rising in price? I think eventually they do. Over the long run, coverts do become, like, better, but you also have to keep in mind, people, the longer this update lasts, or the longer it's been since the last update, the more people are going to kind of forget about knife contracts. Does that make sense? Not necessarily forget, but, like, the demand for these skins should waver at some point, especially when the prices become so elevated that it's just not lucrative anymore. So it's a balancing act. It really is. If you want my honest take on it. Thoughts on Fracture? They were as low as 33. I like Fracture. I would only buy the dips, though. Don't chase. Do not chase these recent highs. So if you look at the Fracture case and you look at its current, if I can find it, where is it? Show. If you look at the current price of the Fracture, you should have been buying at like 40, 50 cents. Now 72, it's not that attractive. I would use buy orders. If you want to get in, what you would do is you would probably set a buy order for like 60 cents or 62 cents and see if it hits over the next couple of days. I think that would be a good long-term strategy to slowly accumulate the dips. When do you think Sport and Field will be removed? I think it's going to get marked in a couple of weeks, maybe like end of November, early December. They get marked and they get removed sometime in early next year. What about the high supply, though? Doesn't matter, bro. Doesn't matter. Eventually, they're going to get consumed, because eventually, like, the pure fact that they can be consumed does not concern me. And especially since it's a rare case drop, like, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. Like, personally, I'm not a big covert investor because I was busy streaming instead of buying and, buying the coverts for a cheap price. It's all about price entry, guys. If I'm going to be honest with you, whether it's cases or skins or coverts or whatever you're investing in, price is king. Price is literally the most important thing. The price you pay for your investment, in my opinion, matters more than the underlying asset in most cases. Now, again, are there exceptions where if you buy an ugly piece of rock, it's probably an ugly piece of rock that nobody wants to buy? I completely agree with you. You want to make sure that the asset is valid and it's good, but I'm not going to overpay for an asset that, like, that has demand now, but it can diminish. You know what I mean? Like, right now, coverts are king. Right now, coverts are king. Will they be kings in 3 months? 3 years? We'll have new skins, new stickers, new armory, new missions, new game modes. Maybe we'll have CS3. I don't know what's going to happen in 3 years. So right now, coverts are king, and I'm not chasing. I'm not chasing coverts higher. That's just my personal opinion. Now, again, does that mean I'm going to miss out on a couple extra percentage gains? Yeah, coverts can probably keep rising. Some are going to rise more than others. But I'm not chasing here. I'm not, like, rushing to buy. Does that make sense? Like, I'm not trying to, like, outperform anything. Like, I'm just, like, I'd much rather take my time and find a good entry price on an item that's cheaper as opposed to chasing something that's hot and trending that is more expensive. So I'm just not doing it. I'm not chasing. Chasing is a mistake, guys. You will be sorry if you chase. More times than not. Miro Mitch says, I bought a Butterfly Slaughter minimum wear for 800. You think I'm going to get reversed? I think you're chilling, bro. I genuinely don't think we're going to see a huge crash that people are saying. I really don't see the crash. Now, I could be wrong, and I'm curious to see what you guys are saying. So please, 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 please go to the X post that I posted here and leave your response. If you think that the market crash is going to continue, give me your reasons why. I want to hear all opinions. I want to hear more people engaging in the community. So follow me on X and respond to that tweet and see what other people are talking about. Are we going to crash further? This is only day 4. People need to understand we're only 4 days in. We're 4 days in, chat. There's going to be volatile times ahead, and as an investor, I don't want to lose my head. I want to keep my cool, so I'm buying cheap cases. Those of you that are coming into the stream a little later and haven't been here since the start of the stream, please, please understand this. If you take anything from this, invest in cases at good entry prices. Don't just buy for the sake of buying. A lot of beginner investors buy their cases because some YouTuber told them to, or some guru in some Discord said it was the next hot water, next liquid gold or whatever. Don't just do that. Like, be strategic about it. Have your short list, and when you see prices crashing and you see something that looks attractive, you pounce on it. You buy the dip. You have conviction to buy, to purchase. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Hopefully I'm coming across, like, this should be, like, number 1. Price should be number 1. What about a survival knife Doppler? Is it okay? I mean, it's a Doppler, my guy. Dopplers are Dopplers. You gotta figure out what cases they're found in, though. Make sure that they're a good case. Thursday is gonna be a big? Yeah, Thursday's big. Survival knife, is that fracture? It might be fracture. Actually, no, it's not fracture. What's the survival Doppler found in? Double check the cases and make sure that it's a good case. Hey Fano, do you have some opinions on Stockholm Hollow? Some of them seem to be pretty stable. I'll probably do a separate live stream talking about, like, ways to prepare for Budapest, like different strategies that I'm doing and different stickers and capsules that I'm investing in for Budapest. That'll probably be later this week, once the dust settles. So if you're interested in that, guys, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll talk more about Paris and Copenhagen and Stockholm and Antwerp and all these other investments. It's from the Fever case. It's from the Fever case. Still kind of new. So the supply should continue increasing with more Fevers being unboxed. So my answer is it's not a good investment. You should buy it if you like the survival Doppler, but you should not invest in it unless you really like the way it looks. Are we buying on Thursday? Yes, I'll be buying the dip on Thursday if there is a dip. What about agents, Fano? Should I buy them now? Personally, I would not be buying agents right now. I think they're still a little expensive. I still think that they have room to go down. So I'm not buying agents here. What is your opinion on the Tech 9 citric acid? What's that? I don't even know what that is. Citric acid? Is that a new skin? It's a Radiant collection. Any type of collection that's still dropping in the weekly case drops, I would probably just insta-sell these and don't waste your time with them. That's just my opinion, though. Are Gamma Case knives a little safer for the downside? I like Gamma Cases. I do. I don't know if they're safer, but, yeah, emeralds tend to be more popular, so I do like emeralds. No Twitch stream today. I'll stream on Twitch later tonight. I usually like to do these, YouTube lives in the morning and then do my Twitch streams at night, just for some balance. What do you think about the new old trade-up theory that the amount of outcomes doesn't matter? I heard about that. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks for people that invested in acid fades and invested in amber fades and all these other, you know, trade-up fillers that used to work and now they're not working. Did you just say not to hold on to new collections? I just said that the collections like the Radiant collection, the collections that are still dropping actively, I generally would not be investing in them. I still think that there is room for them to dip further. Their, supply is increasing every day, and it's just not a sound investment historically speaking. Could that change? Sure. But generally speaking, droppable skins that were added less than a year ago should probably not be invested in. You can buy them as play skins, but you should not buy them as investments. I'm not advocating anybody goes out and buys 10 of these mulberries. It's just not a smart use of capital. Does that make sense? It's not smart to lock in $300 worth of mulberries right now. It's just not. And again, you can disagree, but I mean, history would say you're wrong. Best play skins that would also be good long term for prices to hold. I'm trying to think. Best play skins. That's actually a good topic for a stream we could potentially do tomorrow. But basically, let's see here. Basically, take a look at this list. You see this list right here, and yeah, find the skin from this list, and yeah, these are good play skins, good long-term investments, I would say, especially if there's weakness on them, especially if they dip, and a lot of them I'm looking at right now, they have dipped. I would be buying the dip here for sure. Gabe Newell says, I am still up on fades, not much, but sold plenty before the crash. Good choice, man, good choice. I would literally just say that old collection skins. Yeah, like old collection skins tend to outperform. I like that. What's the best play skin even involve? What does best play skin even involve? An M4, an AK, an AWP? Something that's shiny, something that's bright, something that's colorful, something that can be crafted on easily? I'd say that makes a good play skin. What about graphic collection? Should we be buying graphic? No, I think you missed the boat on graphic. Now, if you have a long-term mindset on graphic, maybe. Like, if you want to buy some of the higher tier graphics, like the Starcades, sure, if you want to do a long-term investment. But as a short-term, like in the short term, I probably would not be buying graphics, if that makes sense. Could you explain how the new trade-up fillers update has changed? There's probably videos on YouTube about it, and there's also, let me see here. Let me go to my bookmarks. I think I bookmarked. Yeah, there's a good post here about the new trade-up formula that I highly recommend you check out. So if you're interested in learning about the trade-ups, I can link you to this article here that can help you with that. Hey, Fano, can I ask you a question, please? On October 31st, when trade lock remove, will the knives or other skins go down? Everybody is asking me that question, and if you want my answer, if you want my genuine answer, here it is. Here is my answer. I genuinely think we're not going to crash nearly as much. So go to this X post here and read why I think we're not going to crash as much as people think. And then see what other people are talking about in the replies and see if you agree with me, do you agree with them, and make your own decision. I'm not here to tell you what's going to happen because it's hard to predict exactly what's going to happen, but I can tell you what I think is going to happen. So yeah, definitely read that X post and come to your own conclusion. What's up, man? How you doing, bro? Opinion on Glock 18 Gold Tooth worth selling since it was recently removed from the armory? I like the gold tooth. A lot of people like it. It's going to be used a lot in contracts over the years, so I don't know if you should necessarily sell it. Maybe if you have a couple, maybe you can lock in some gains, but I would not sell all of it. Recoil is the cheapest case for long-term. It's a case that can be short-term and long-term, so I like Recoil for a variety of reasons. If you're here looking for cases, guys, we've already covered the best cases to buy, and we've already done it, so those of you that are just now tuning in right now, we're just doing some Q&A. It's going to be a Bloodbath Thursday. I don't know. I don't know about that. We'll see. We'll see. Galil Amber Fade Souvenir Factory New or Galil Air Titanic? Which one? Titanic or Titanium? I don't usually invest in souvenirs. Best Armory pass investment right now? Probably use your stars for either cases or just hold the stars for a new item. Hey, Fano, I unboxed them for Fade. Do I sell it or keep it at the moment? I'd probably keep it. keep your fade because I think that we do bounce higher and it has the potential to be removed. So definitely if you unbox a fade today, it's probably smart to keep it. Wait for them to remove this item instead of just selling it randomly. What will happen Thursday? A lot of knives that were recently added to the game through the contracts are going to become tradable, and everyone's fearing that the prices are going to crash. I personally don't think it's going to happen, but, you know, it's not going to be as bad as people think. It's not going to be as bad as people think. Knife prices are only starting to drop. This is the tip of the iceberg. I think it's overblown personally, but I think some knives maybe will continue to drop and will be bad, but I disagree that just because of the update, all of our knives are going to 0. That's probably not going to happen. Imagine how many people did buy one. If you bought the dip, you're making money today. Like, last day or so, we've been rallying off the lows. I made a post about the blue phosphor. Like, somebody on the Steam market sold a blue phosphor for $450. Like, what an idiot. Like, you could have, like, $1,500 to $450. Like, that's a ludicrous price jump. Like, price decrease. I can't imagine selling it for only $450. So, should I buy agents for investments? Only the top tier agents, like the Sallys and the number Ks, would be solid picks. Can you show what elemental stickers you're thinking are gonna rise? Yeah, we can look at elemental stickers. I mean, look, elemental stickers are fine. They're good. I've been seeing a lot of demand for like the foils, like the bolt strikes in particular. Winding Scorched seems to be pretty popular. But also the high heat is, you know, a sticker that I'm really eyeing. So, I mean, there's opportunities for sure. There's pockets in here. You want to go after the ones that have high demand. Let me close a few tabs here because there's so many tabs. Okay, so let's see. Any other questions, guys? We're just doing some Q&A. I don't even have Prime. You don't have Prime? Get Prime, bro. Why are you sometimes live on YouTube, sometimes live on Twitch? Because I use these YouTube live streams more for like the technical, formal type streams, and then on Twitch it's usually more laid back. So if you want to just hang out and talk, we can do the like Twitch is for like the Q&A type streams. YouTube is more for like the lecture notes for people that just want to come and get information and just bounce. I don't know. I'm doing online surveys to get Prime for free. Good for you, man. Get it as soon as you can, bro. If money wasn't part of the equation and prices were equally as good, would you go for Dreams and Nightmares or Recoil? What does that mean? Money and prices have everything to do with the equation. How can you just remove it? Like, objectively speaking, if I didn't care about the price of the case or what? Like, what kind of question is that? I don't know, bro. Yeah. I would say, I mean, fudge. What do you guys think? Is the recoil case good? Like, what's in the recoil case? I mean, it has a USPS print stream. It has a chromatic aberration. These are good coverts, gloves. I guess if price was not a factor, maybe the recoil case, just, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's really hard to say. Because price is a factor. Which case would I rather open? But you do realize that people want to open the Dreams and Nightmares case because of the expensive Emerald Butterfly, because it's an Emerald as opposed to Broken Fang gloves. So, like, that's such a hard question to answer. Thank you for not making clickbait videos about the market like every other YouTuber. I try my best to be balanced and to, like, give you guys value during these live streams so that I don't just, like, mislead you. And again, it's up to you guys to make your own decisions. I want to make that crystal clear. Like, I'm only giving you guys what I think is right, but I could be wrong too, which is why, I mean, I encourage all of you guys to, you know, give me advice, give me criticisms, give me your opinions. That's why I do what I do on X, and I like to make posts like this where we talk about controversial takes in the market and try to come to a conclusion about how to be a better investor. So if you're interested in joining our community, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We have a private Discord server where you guys can join and interact with us, and, you know, we can all make money together. So recommend you guys join up. Can I make profit from weekly case drops with Prime? Yes, you can, but it's not a lot of money. Most of your money is going to be made buying the dips on your favorite cases and buying the dips on your favorite investments. I mean, it's that simple. If you want to make money long term, what you do is you stay in the market long enough, you buy the investments when they dip, when they're cheap, and then you sell when they rip and when they go higher. So if you're interested in that, like I said, I have tons of videos and live streams where I'm going to continue to give you guys ideas on how to make money, and it's up to you to decide which one makes sense for you. Maybe somebody watching this live stream doesn't like case investing or is not interested in case investing. That's fine. My next live stream will be on a different topic. Maybe it will be play skins. Maybe it will be stickers. Budapest stickers are coming in a couple of weeks. Maybe you want to invest in some Antwerp capsules or some Copenhagen capsules, some alternative like major stickers in advance, right? Early. So I'm going to give you guys all these options, and you have to make that decision yourself. Should I sell my fuel injector and buy a fire serpent? If you've always wanted a fire serpent, yes, I think the fire serpent is the superior investment and play skin. Which cases are going to be good to invest in now? I've already covered it. I am going to so this notepad file with all my notes and all the potential cases and all the like what I'm doing and what I'm thinking. All of this is going to get posted in my Discord server. So if you're interested in just getting all this information for free, just join the Discord server. It's very, very easy, and you can meet many people there. Best case to invest in would be Chroma. I actually disagree. I don't think it's Chroma, and I'll tell you why. Look at the Chroma case. Chroma case is the most expensive out of the 3 Chromas, and very few of them have been opened the last day or so, compared to Chroma 2, which is cheaper, a lot of them, and then Chroma 3 are very, very popular at the moment. Now, this could change, obviously, but I think if you're interested in the Chroma knives and the Chroma case investments, I'd prefer maybe the cheaper Chroma 2s as opposed to the Chroma 1s. Does that make sense? Do I sell my snow leopards? No. Why would you sell? Well, only sell if you're at a profit. Only sell if you're at a profit. And don't panic sell. I think that's what people need to understand. We're all panicking, fearing that the end is near, but I really don't think we're in a bad spot. When should I buy fevers? I would slowly be stacking fevers. So that's what I'm doing. Right now, I am slowly and stacking fever cases for 80 cents and get them the lower they go. The cheaper they go, the more I'm buying. Do I sell my Huntsman Rust coat? Probably. Sell your cheap knife, your cheap Huntsman Rust coat. Make your case investments, your elemental sticker investments. Make your sticker investments, your capsule investments, your case investments, and then funnel that profit into the knives that you want. My philosophy over the years that has made me a lot of money in this game is very simple. Step 1, invest in cheap items like cases, stickers, capsules. Step 2, sell when these items rise in value. Step 3, accumulate enough dollars to buy expensive skins and knives that hold value over the long run. Now, again, this is going to change a little bit because of the new meta, right? Because of the new knife contracts. Obviously, certain knives are not going to be as in demand and investment-wise good investments as they were before, and that's fine. We're just gonna have to adapt, right? Like, that's what investors do. We adapt. So maybe you don't like, but I bring this up to say, instead of buying, you know, the Dragon Lore today, you can use that money, that same $5,000 or $10,000, however much the Dragon Lore is worth these days. I haven't looked at the price lately. Instead of, buying and like getting the instant gratification today, take that 5K, that 10K, and invest it in maybe a third into cases, a third into stickers, a third into I don't know, like armory skins or charms. Make your investments on the cheaper items that have more growth potential, and then when you lock in your gains from those investments in a couple of months, maybe a year or two, then you get to enjoy your Dragon Lore. Does that make sense, guys? Hopefully you guys are understanding where I'm coming from. Do you use Steam to buy and sell cases? Sometimes, not always. Gallery cases, I'm selling on this, I'm selling on float. Fever cases, I'm probably going to quick sell on the Steam market, and then the longer I hold on to them, I'll probably sell them on third-party sites as well. It is estimated how many new knives were created. I saw the estimates, and even if it's a true estimate, it's not enough for the knives to absolutely become worthless. A lot of people are panicking on X, thinking that, you know, knives are going to go to zero. They have the wrong mindset. They think that just because thousands of these knives were already unboxed, they think that it's going to continue, and I disagree. I think that the rate at which new knives are added to the game is going to decelerate, not accelerate. And this was just the initial pop after everyone just spammed their coverts to test out the new feature and to profit off of it. But now when coverts are more expensive, it's going to discourage a lot of people from doing these knife contracts, and they're not going to do it as much. So my advice to you is to not panic and to just continue sticking to your guns, sticking to your investment strategy, and to just ignore the noise and buy the dip. Hopefully that makes sense, guys. Just ignore the noise and buy. Easier said than done, guys. Easier said than done. What's your price target for gallery cases? That's a good question. I'm probably, let's see here. My strategy with cases, where's gallery? So I'm probably, let's see here. Price target for gallery case. I would probably start selling at around $5, maybe at around $7.50, and definitely cash out around $10. I think these three targets are reasonable, and I would definitely try to exit at some point in between those three. But like I said, I have thousands of gallery cases, literal thousands of them. You said you're going to hold on to your gallery cases until 2030, but now you're saying you're going to sell them on float. What do you mean? No. Listen. You gotta listen, my guy. You gotta listen. You gotta listen correctly. I am selling them. I am selling my gallery cases, like I said earlier. I am selling them not before 2030, but, right, that is a fact. And then, when they reach this, like, these price targets, then I will consider selling, or, like, here's the thing. Like, for example, let me give you an example. Let's say the gallery case reaches, I don't know, let's say the gallery case reaches $5 in 2 years, before 2030. Just because I said I was going to wait until 2030 arbitrarily does not mean that I cannot sell a couple at $5. Does that make sense? So, like, ultimately, the price target determines when I sell, but the 2030 was an arbitrary concept where, like, I'm confident that in 5 years, these price targets will be hit. Whether it's $5 in 2030 or $7.50, I don't know. So I'm definitely going to hold on to them, most of them, until 2030, but if we reach that price target sooner, maybe I sell earlier. I don't know. I mean, like, I can't predict exactly what's going to happen. So it's really, it's really hard to say. So again, I don't want to, like, mislead you guys. Hopefully it's clear. Is today still a good day to buy Phase 4 Gamma Doppler butterflies? I mean, you should have bought it yesterday or 2 days ago when everyone was selling. Now it's kind of iffy, 50-50. I want to buy Dreams and Nightmares. I mean, listen, if you want to have a long-term, if you have a long-term horizon, yes, now is a good day to buy. Are we supposed to buy or sell our gallery cases? Long-term, you hold. Guys, please listen. Okay. Here's the thing. Know what you own, guys. Know what you own. Please, before making any investment, know what it is you own. So if you're asking me, is now a time to sell gallery? I mean, listen, I don't know, like, I don't know what you know. I don't know what you're interested in, what your targets are. I can't, like, make that decision for you, whether or not you want to sell. But what I can tell you is that, historically speaking, cases like the gallery case have performed very well over the last couple of years, and I predict that the gallery case will follow a similar trajectory. So when it goes down in value, I'm going to be buying, and when it goes up in value, I'm going to be selling. Now, I'm going to obviously adhere to my rules. I'm going to wait for the gallery case to hit my price targets. I'm going to hold on to it for a while. And yeah, because I'm going to wait that long, And because I have thousands of these gallery cases, I'm going to sell them on the Float Marketplace as opposed to the Steam Marketplace. Again, guys, don't just blindly copy what I'm doing. Like, this is just what I think is good and what I think is the optimal strategy, but I could be wrong, and there's probably other ways to make money. So, understand that everyone has different time horizons, and everyone's different. Thoughts on Austin Capsule Silver? We'll talk about Austin investments and sticker capsule investments in a future live stream. I want to make a dedicated live stream on making you guys prepared for Budapest. So if you're interested in that, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're going to be doing that later this week, maybe next weekend. We're going to really analyze like older majors and which ones are better to invest heading in to Budapest. That's going to be an interesting discussion because there is money to be made anticipating the new stickers, so we're going to be investing in that as well. But for those of you that are just now tuning in and are asking, what am I doing? This is what I am doing. My strategy for cases is very simple. This should be like highlighted. If you read anything from this, it should be this here. This is what I'm doing. This is my favorite stuff, but obviously there are other cases that we've looked at and analyzed and different strategies. I think also the strategies are something that you should do on your own. Don't just blindly copy what I'm doing, what I'm saying, and actually apply both of these strategies and come to your own conclusion when it comes to case investments and which ones are the best to invest in right now. Okay, boys, I am tired of talking. I think this was a long enough stream. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please do me a favor, hit the like button if you found value from this content. It helps the channel grow, and it is completely free to join. Steven, can you please post the link to my Twitter? Follow me on Twitter, guys, for offline discussions, the X posts. We are going to be talking a lot about investments offline, and over the next couple of days, there may be some volatility that I want you guys to be aware of, so read this X post as well, and respond to it as much as you can. Get involved in the discussions. And lastly, guys, we do have a Discord server that you guys can join. We have a growing Discord community with investment channels and skin channels and trading channels and all that good stuff. Please join the Discord. We have offline conversations 24/7. Join our community if you want to learn more about skins and investing. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys had a good live stream. Make your case investments, set your price targets, buy low, sell high, make your lists, and over the next couple of months, we're going to be making a lot of money with cases, so I hope you guys stick around for that. So until next time, happy investing, everyone.